That's right. Absolutely. If you want to read the character of God, I always tell people what the character of the Father. Jesus said, "No man comes to the Father except through me." Well, that must be on Jesus' heart to get people to the Father, right? Well, where are you going to find out about the Father? Yes, Jesus was part of the three, the Trinity, but you have the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. If you want to know about the Father, there's no such thing as the Old Testament, but go back and read the prophets. Go back and read the books that a lot of the church doesn't even read, right? These were the books that Jesus studied when he was 12 years old. They found him missing. So people, Chris, I find, I don't know about you, they don't even know the character of the Father. I mean, they think they do. They think it's their God Mart or Six Flags over Jesus. And I don't, wave a flag saying I know God, everything. But I can tell you one thing, I won't be guilty of not being hungry and not always looking around every nook and corner to see where God is and see how God's moving, because I want to know who God is. I want more of God. I want to know his character.
It is my position that if you truly want to understand the New Testament, you have to understand the Old Testament, the first covenant, because Jesus is foreshadowed in just about everything that's spoken. Everything that happens in the Old Testament is building the character for you to understand God intimately, how he handled Joseph, how he handled Moses, how
Hmm.
David and him worked together. That was the true intimacy of understanding the Lord because he was consistent across the board. Look at how he handled all the kings of Israel. You had
Hmm.
King David who was loyal to him. But then after King David, his son Solomon started off well, but didn't end too well. But after that, every king just about except Hezekiah and Josiah worshiped false gods. And
Hmm.
he lays the pattern out. He does not expect perfection, but he expects loyalty, surrender. He wants humbleness. And if you do that, he does anything for you. Nothing can happen unless he wills it if you're loyal and abide in him.
Hmm.
But if you don't, it gets bad. He will hand you over to your enemy. And we saw that with Israel all throughout 1st and 2nd Kings. King by king started to lose parts of the kingdom, trying to get their attention. Hey, look, you need to come back to me. Stop messing around with the false gods. They don't listen. So bits of the kingdom are breaking off one by one until he's had enough. And, you know, the Babylonians come in and completely destroy it. And then they go into captivity for 40, 70 years, whatever it turned out to be. And then it repeats. He gives them another chance.
Yeah.
Same thing happens again. It's a book of patterns, but my personal opinion is to really understand Revelation, to truly understand the New Testament, you have to really understand what Jesus studied because all of those books point to Jesus. Every one of them is foreshadowings with Christ in everything. David was a type of Christ. Joseph was a type of Christ. Everything
Hmm.
was foreshadowing Jesus.
Hmm.
And that's just my 2 cents on it, though.